Hey Pisces, thanks for checking out your weekly forecast for December 27th through January 2nd. This is going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now I am setting the intention for the 27th through January 2nd, but you may come across this video outside of that time frame. That's totally fine. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to find it, whenever it's time for you to hear the messages. Now keep in mind that these are general readings for the Pisces collective. Therefore, not every single message will resonate. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my darling Pisces friends, let's see what messages are coming up here for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So the first card that's coming up is the Queen of Wands. Not surprising. This is going with the ongoing theme that Pisces has had for quite some time here, right? The Queen of Wands has that feistiness to her. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot for love and romance, so we typically might interpret court cards as somebody else coming into the situation, but for those of you who don't know, in the weekly forecasts, I want to focus on you, and I want to make the reading about you and your journey and your experiences and your transformations, and less about other people. I mean, that's not to say some of you might not be dealing with a fire sign person, but with the intention that I'm setting, it's more than likely that if you have a fire sign placement, that part of you is coming front and center, or that might be how you're coming into a situation. Many of you are coming into the personality and the characteristics of the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is ambitious. She's confident. She's the life of the party. She's funny, right? But she's also not somebody that you're gonna take lightly or take advantage of. She's someone that can hold her own and stand up for herself. And one thing I've seen over the years reading for people, the Queen of Wands comes up for me a lot in situations when your eyes are starting to open and you're starting to realize how much you bring to the table. You're starting to see your gifts, your talents, your abilities. You're starting to realize that a lot of the times the bosses or the companies that you've worked for have made a lot of money because of your work, and you're not being fairly compensated. You're realizing how beneficial you are to the people in your life, but you may be feeling like you're not getting a fair exchange. And when you speak up and you might ask for more, it's getting like kind of like pushed under the rug, or, oh gosh, Pisces, I really wish I could, but I can't. Please don't leave me. I don't know what I would do without you. And you find yourself in a situation where now they're stroking your ego to try to keep you happy and hold on to you. And that's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, you can't pay your rent with a stroked ego, right? So some of you might be coming into this energy where you're really finally fed up and you're like, I know what I have to offer, I know what I bring to the table, and I shouldn't have to deal with this. And that anger is motivating you to reach higher, to aim higher. And you're so driven that you're accomplishing this in a short period of time. So some of you could be landing a really significant job in the next few days to the next couple of weeks because you're so motivated and find yourself advancing. Some of you might say, you know what, it's time for me to full on go to using my gifts and talents for myself, and you may start putting yourself into self-employment, okay, or like working on self-employment. I feel some of you are wanting to put together a presentation for an idea that you have. I feel like you're wanting to pitch an idea specifically, so this feels to me like a creative project. Maybe you have an idea for a movie or a TV show or a cartoon or a comic book or something, or you have an idea for like to pull in investors. that's really what I'm feeling more strongly than the creative thing. Some of you may be putting together like a proposal for business or something, or a request for business, or some kind of presentation where you might start seeking out investors for an idea. Like, hey, here's my idea, I just need investors to come in. So I feel, for whatever reason, like I'm seeing this portfolio, and Spirit is showing it to me like an old school portfolio, like in an actual, like in a 3-ring binder with like the plastic covers and stuff. But probably many of you would probably more than likely do this in a digital presentation. But Spirit is showing me like some kind of presentation that you're putting together to try to pull in investors for an idea. That's very bold. That's very ambitious. But the fact that the Queen of Wands is here is telling us that this is going to turn out well for a lot of you, right? It's going to be something successful because you have a good idea. You have a good vision. The next card that's coming up here for Pisces is the Eight of Wands. And Eight of Wands is, you know, blockages are out of the way. Things are happening quickly. Things are moving very clearly. This can be travel, communication, things that we're passionate about. It's fast-moving energy. And a lot of you have heard me say this in the past about the Queen of Wands. That anger motivates her to where she's getting results in a very short period of time. Because, again, you're so driven. And I feel a lot of you are turning your attention and your focus towards things that you are passionate about. And this is bringing you success, right? You might find that you're having very quick success, or things are moving much more quickly than you had anticipated, right? Delays are over. Some of you could be making a decision to travel. You may be leaving a position, and you may be deciding to take time off to travel and to just kind of clear your head and think about what direction you want to go in. I'm even getting a sense of like reinventing yourself in some way for some of you. Now, I will say this with the Eight of Wands. I am getting a feeling and a sense from this card, from the Eight of Wands, that for some of you, these changes are happening much more quickly than you had anticipated, and this might be giving you anxiety, or you might be getting a little bit overwhelmed, like, I didn't think it was going to happen so soon, or I didn't think it was actually going to happen, and now it's happening, and oh my God, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? It might be a good idea to seek out like a business advisor or counselor or an expert in the field for those of you who were gathering investors for this idea, because the Eight of Wands is giving me a feeling and a sense that you're going into it thinking it's going to take a long time, if it even happens at all, and lo and behold, before you know it, the ball is rolling. So to avoid that anxiety, might be a good idea to do that research and to be ready, because something that you think isn't going to move forward is going to move forward in a lot less time than you're imagining. The next card that's coming up here for you guys is the Death card. Okay? Oh, one more thing I wanted to say. I was getting a feeling and a sense from the Eight of Wands also that those of you who are angry in a work situation or career situation, you really can't afford to wait for the situation to improve or tough it out, because something about the Eight of Wands with the Queen of Wands made me feel like you are very close to just like having like you're one bad day away, or one bad or frustrating incident away from like just quitting on the spot. And in some ways the thought of that might be very relieving, but if you're in a situation where you need an income, that's not going to be a good situation. If you don't have somebody that you can depend on to handle the financial situation, or you don't want to depend on somebody else financially, it's not going to be a good situation to walk out on a job when you don't have something else lined up. Now, I know that I'm saying this other thing is going to move forward very quickly. But one of the secrets to it moving forward quickly is because you're not putting pressure on it to move forward quickly. You're not telling it to move forward quickly. You're just going and you're putting it out there, and whatever happens, happens. And it's in that flow that it's moving forward quickly. But if you're in a situation where you're like, I gotta sell this, I gotta make this move forward, I really need this money, that slows down the energy. So those of you who are very frustrated, it's going to be a good idea for you to start on these ideas and these projects, but also update that resume. Start putting it out there. Start putting it out there for other places. Don't keep waiting, because I feel that you're very close to just walking out of a situation and then regretting it. Right? Here we have the Death card. This also came up for Gemini, the Death card. So some of you could be dealing with a Gemini because they also had this card come up. Traditionally, this is going to be Scorpio energy. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio. If you have a Scorpio placement, there can be big changes happening for you in those areas of your life. But this gives me a sense and a feeling that you know this chapter in your life is coming to a close. That you don't have any, I'm getting the same feeling from this card as I did from Gemini. You don't have any more gas to give here. Like, you're all out of gas. You've given it all that you can give it, and it's come to the end of its cycle, the end of its time. So this could be for some of you a career change where you're stepping away from some kind of work. It could be stepping away from an ideology or a belief system. It could be stepping away from a relationship. But there's this sense of transformation where it's being replaced by something else, or it's evolving into a higher evolved energy or a higher frequency, a higher, like it's evolving into something higher vibration. So you're coming into a time of big changes, permanent changes, where you're never going to go back to a certain place or thing ever again. You're moving forward. This is change. This is transformation. One thing is ending, but a new thing is beginning. It's a new way of life. Some of you could be experiencing the ego death, where all the programming is fading away, and you're coming to understand better who you are, as opposed to who you were told you should be, or who you were trained to be, but who you are on your soul level, who you are authentically. Okay? It's really beautiful in this way. Very liberating in this way. It can be scary at first, because you might think that you're losing joy for the things that you like, but really you're realizing these are things that you liked because you were conditioned to like them, and you're getting a better idea of really what makes you feel alive, really what you're truly passionate about, as opposed to chasing after things or trying to manifest things that you were taught to want or that you were conditioned to want. I feel some of you are having a realization that you are living somebody else's dream. You're living your father's dream, or you're living your mother's dream. But it's not what you wanted for yourself. And you're having that realization. And you're going in this new direction. Now, the next card coming up here for Pisces is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles can indicate returning to some kind of schooling. It might not be full on completely going back to like get a new degree or something, but it could be learning a new trade or a new skill, or getting some kind of certification that's going to give you an extra edge. But these cards together, finished off with the Eight of Pentacles, does give me a feeling and a sense that a lot of you are seeking out a new career or career change, or a new way of making money, and you're trying to perfect your skills. You're trying to, learn all the ins and outs and the things that are going to kind of give you an edge here over other people. Like, you're trying to learn the latest stuff. Some of you might also be not only learning about a new field, but you might be incorporating like the new technologies around it, or the way, like certain technologies that are like related to it. Doing things in a in a technological way, or in like the newest state of the art kind of way. I'm feeling a sense or a feeling of technology here with the Eight of Pentacles. Not that you're going into technology, but like a more modern way of doing things, right? Like there's the old way of doing bookkeeping, and then there's the modern way of doing bookkeeping. But there might even be like really, really, really recent developments, like super recent developments. And that's what I mean. You might be getting brushed up on, or you might be getting trained in the super, super recent stuff. You might be searching it out and researching it even. Like, what is the super recent stuff? What is the latest developments and changes in this field? And you might be brushing up on those things to kind of get an upper hand. Typically, the Eight of Pentacles tells us that any investment that we're making into strengthening our skills, or learning a new skill, or investing in something in terms of business is going to be favorable for us. But it also gives us the message and the energy of taking our time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to have this all or nothing mentality. There's no need to feel like we have to hustle and grind. There's no need to feel like we have to, go big or go home. We can make safe, conservative investments, and we can take time to carve out the details, right? There's no need to rush here. There's no need to rush with what you're learning, or the ways in which you're improving yourself. Right? Don't be in a rush to hit the finish line, but rather focus on what you're learning and learn it well. It's going to be very beneficial for you. Some of you might find yourself kind of elevated to the level of expert in the field. You might find that you're becoming an expert, or where people are seeking you out and seeking your opinion. They might be asking you to teach or to speak at certain events. They might be asking you to testify in a trial in the area of your expertise. But some of you are rising to the really high expert level in what you do, being very educated about it, knowing the ins and outs very thoroughly. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. Don't forget to check out your weekly forecasts every week, but also once a month I do the love readings. January love readings are linked in the description for those of you who would like to watch that. And the 12-month forecasts for 2022 are also posted, and those are also linked in the description for those of you who would like to look at the forecasts for 2022. Again, private readings can be scheduled at calendly.com/amethystangelite. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week, and especially a very, very happy new year, a happy 2022. Take care, my dears. Be well, Pisces.